Welcome back. Today we're diving into the SoFi story, a story about a company that is successfully disrupting traditional banking by building a powerful financial ecosystem. I'm going to reveal the potential Trump administration catalyst that could unlock billions for the company, the chart pattern showing where the big money is accumulating, and where our conviction remains bullish ahead of the crucial October 28th earnings report. As you can see on my screen, we are on a daily chart of SoFi. And quite frankly, the stock has been an outperformer over the past couple of months. As we can see here from the tariff lows, we are up approximately 230% from those lows, which has seen an outstanding return for investors that bought this dip on this outstanding name. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, how can I get involved? Did I miss this move? Well, simply no, because I do believe that there's more upside. We can see here that currently the stock has been holding, every single time we dip towards a 50 MA. If you can see here, we've been, we come up, we dip below 50 MA, we come up, dip below, find support at the 50 MA. The most recent one was there, and then we come back, find support there. Now, we have seen that there's buyers in the same, obviously. The volume has been increasing ever since the April lows. And as well, the company has been seeing more upside, especially in its fundamentals. Now, the company here is looking like it's not overextended. And the main reasoning to that is that we are seeing the RSI settling down here, right? It's looking like it's preparing for this jump. And that's why I believe that we are seeing this price action here accumulating. This zone in general, right here that we're seeing, is being reflected on the RSI here at these lows, which shows us that we're only gearing up for potential upside. We're like, just getting more buyers each time, where we can additionally, finally move higher, break this key area of resistance here, which would be this area of $29, close to 30, and that would go towards our first price target on the stock towards $37.49, obviously based off of the current retracements, especially Fibonacci. Now, if the stock does not have that extensive move up and fails to hold this area of support here, which in my opinion has been holding quite well ever since the lows, which is a 50 MA, then I do believe the stock has the potential to go towards the levels that could be bought at cheaper prices, which are going to be here, the $25 zone, or actually the $23 zone and 60 cents, and the $22 zone and 30 cents here. Now, I do believe that if the stock does dip, these are going to be key areas of support because the following levels. These were actually levels of support with the anchored VWAP from this break. So this level and this level. And as you can see here, if we zoom in a little bit more closely, this level, this VWAP, closely comes in line with a prior area of support, the last dip that we had. So it's going to be a lot of confluence, a lot of buyers that are going to be interested in this level. That is why we highlighted it as a very important level where you can get this name at a discount. Now, additionally, we see the same pattern here on the last one. The last area we had that pullback was around this zone. We saw intense buying right here at this general area zone. So I believe this confluence zone is also an important level of support because we can see here, this is where we had those buyers that came in. Now as well, if we analyze here, I do believe the stock has a lot of potential upside. I have my first initial price target on this stock towards $37, with my second price target being $57, and my third price target being $78.02. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, how did you achieve these price targets and where do you see these levels of support? Well, simply let's do the following. Let's zoom out here and look at the overall chart, right? Let's go towards a weekly chart here on this name. And let's look here at when the buyers fully emerged and where they had control. So we'll look here at the most recent dip here. So this is where the RSI was overextended, even telling us that it wasn't a buy yet. We can see here that if we plot an anchored VWAP from this high area of resistance, we see that the buyers had full control ever since the price level of $13 around here, $14 or $13. So that was the signal to go long this name. As well, the RSI here was barely starting to cross above this 14 EMA right here. So this was a double signal. We got above this area of resistance. And as well, the RSI started to rise up. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of an overextension pulling back, and we're actually looking to go up even higher here on the weekly. We have earnings here on the 20th of October, with the earnings being an estimate of around 0.08 cents, and the revenue estimate to be around 887 million, close to $1 billion. Now, here we use Fibonacci's, and we get our first price target towards $37. Now the second overextension would be towards $57.76, which would allow us to show that that would be an area of support or actually resistance where a lot of supply is going to be found. But currently, if you look towards maybe a smaller term time frame here, like the hourly chart, the stock is doing actually quite well. We've just, been consolidating for the past couple of days. But if we plot now, let's say a swing high anchored VWAP from this area of resistance, we can see here that this is where we've been finding the current area of resistance. This is why we haven't been able to break above a key area of overall resistance, right? We break above it, we come back down, we test it, we break above it, and sellers come in again and break it down even more. Although we are holding this area here, this current area of support around $26, so that's a very important level. We actually gapped up today, and we are still finding again that resistance at this zone because we're seeing this higher wick candle, which is the sellers pushing the price even down lower. But I do believe that if the stock does break then this level of $29, this would not only break above the area of this swing high anchored VWAP, this $27.40 resistance, but also would break above a key level. It would form now a higher high formation, so something like this. So we would see something like this, higher high, and this would break above this. I would expect the stock to come back and pull that, find some lower liquidity and go even higher. My first price target here, like I said, of $37.50 here on SoFi. Overall, SoFi has a growth story that is priced for perfection. The institutional money is betting that the growth continues, and the chart does show momentum. The true question is, will the Q3 earnings report on October 28th launch SoFi valuation to the next level? If you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and as always, don't let the markets whip you guys out. I'll see you guys on the next one.